so much, Mr. Chair, and to our ranking member and to the Secretary. So good to see you, Secretary Kendall and General Brown and General Saltzman. Thank you for joining us today. Ensuring a ready fighting force in the air is paramount. And we've heard comments today which I outline, and that is when it comes down to deterring military aggression, especially from the People's Republic of China and other belligerent nations. Mr. Secretary, based on procurement justification documents, the Air Force has F-15Es and a divestment plan that would shrink the F-15E from 218 aircraft to about 99. And I want to raise a concern that I've been hearing quite a bit these days regarding this divestment plan. And I just want to understand when it comes to Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in particular, my understanding there would not be necessarily the capability of bringing in F-35s there. But would there be an intent to eliminate two of the squadrons there at all?
Congressman, I believe that what we're trying to do is there's a mission shift occurring, Seymour Johnson, if I remember right. And the comments were made earlier about some of this and about the fighters. What we're trying to acquire is the most combat power that we can acquire given the resources that we have. And part of that is getting fifth-generation fighters. Part of that is getting on with the sixth-generation set of capabilities. Part of it is shifting our force to stronger capabilities in areas like electronic warfare, cyber capabilities, ISR in general, things that are going to be very important on a future battlefield.
But let me ask, as we're making that shift, would there be necessarily a gap that would exist in terms of our current fleet that's retired and this new fleet that may come in?
There can be, but we try to make that a manageable gap depending upon the situation. And my conversations with people
when you
involved
say
in
manageable gap, what exactly would
on the order of 1 to
manageable
2
mean?
years.
I'm sorry?
On the order of 1 to 2 years if possible. So that you can make a reasonable transition and not have, you know, a very negative effect. What we're trying to do overall, particularly with guard bases, is if there's a fighter mission already, we try to replace it with a fighter mission. If we can't do that, then we try to replace it with a flying mission. If we can't do that, then we try to find a suitable mission that is a high priority to the Air Force, which will have a lot of longevity on that base and provide a lot of benefits to the community. So that's essentially our hierarchy, and generally so far we've been able to do that. And I'd be happy to get with you offline and talk to you about whatever long-term plans we have for Seymour Johnson.
And let me follow up on this then. If you said 1 or 2 years in terms of possibility of managing the gap, would there be, in your opinion, a possibility of not having even that period, or?
It depends on the situation. My personal opinion is that given the severity of the threat that we're facing, as time goes on, we're going to be acquiring more rather than less. But I have to look at what is within our constraints right now when we do our detailed planning.
Yeah, and I can share with you the concern of reducing that period, if not eliminating the gap period. But I would really welcome an opportunity to follow up with this.
We'd work with you on that.
Yeah, and I want to also follow up on another topic too. I spoke briefly about, and I've continued to share with all the witnesses this come before to advocate for Northeast and North Carolina in particular, Elizabeth City State University, historically black college university in this community. It's isolated, and they're doing amazing work with ROTC, with the Aerospace Studies, Aerosciences program. And we really would like to see an Air Force ROTC, Space Force ROTC program. It's isolated, it's not easy to enter across town, and I'm just trying to understand in cases like this where communities already built synergy, how can we better connect to these pipelines?
That's a good question, and I'd be happy to look at that opportunity with you. We are trying to build up our science and engineering capacity in general. ROTC is a big feeder, obviously, for our capabilities there, and we're very interested in increasing diversity in that part of the force. So I'd be happy to work with you on that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary. My final comment, I'm really proud of Warren County High School. We're one of the few Space Force JROTC programs, and I'm proud of that. I yield back, Mr. Chair.